Hey everyone, and welcome back. I am spending most of the day putting the header in place on top of the posts. I think in previous videos I've been calling it a top plate, but it is of course called a header.
I've just mentioned that I'm going to put up this header in a day, and in fact it probably took me the better part of a week to build the header. The header is a laminated beam. It is made out of 2x10s. They are 12 feet long. They are not light, and as you can see here, I'm maneuvering them at height. So it's a challenging task, and making it more challenging is the fact that the header is a laminated beam. It is made up of 3 rows of the 2x10s. So cutting and then maneuvering those 3 rows of 2x10s into position took time. You'll also see me using my chainsaw to cut and trim these 2x10s to length. This is not fine carpentry. This is rough framing, and the builders that I've talked to, and actually the builders that I've seen when framing houses, they will actually use chainsaws. Number one, most building sites at that stage in a build process are off-grid. And again, the quality of the cut, which you can get from a chainsaw, works just fine at this stage in the build process for a pole barn.
I have a couple of things wrong with this post specifically. It is not quite plumb, it's pitched outwards at the top. So then this top plate header piece is not lining up with the other piece there. As well, it's a little bit tall. So in order to correct the two issues, being that this post is out of plumb up top and it's a little bit too tall first, I've taken this brace off. So this allows me to move this post in and out. I don't know if you can see that shaking in that video, that footage there. And then what I'm going to do up top is buzz off about 1/2 inch and see if that solves the height issue. It's warming up outside. Whew, that's better. Let's get back to work. Coming along really well. So this right here is 3 2x10s thick. And now to work my way down the wall. So the first number of 2x10s, I had them stacked up here nicely on the side. There were 9 of them, I think, and they gave me easy access and allowed me to get probably half of that first header done. The next set of 2x10s is just sitting here at the top of this pile and a couple of rows down in this pile. So that's pretty easy access as well. Now, after that, it gets a little bit more challenging. I haven't done myself any favors. Again, milling up, sawing up all this lumber in the middle of winter, trying to find spots to store for drying was not the easiest thing. In fact, it was quite a struggle. I'm changing angles there to see if you can see it better. But my 2x10s in this pile start here down. So later today, I'm going to have to start moving all of these 2x4s boards. Yeah, it's mainly 2x4s and boards up above, sitting on top of these 2x10s. The good thing is that they'll be nice and flat. Okay, let's get moving. It is a great feeling to finally actually be digging into these piles and using this material that I've milled over the last 12 months to actually start to see these piles diminish and turn into a building structure is, I would say, thrilling. Thrilling for me, at least. I might have enough 2x10s out of the pile to complete the header on this side. I might be one short. I've got 2 set aside that have quite a bit of wane in them that I'm going to use for the 8-foot pieces when required due to the staggering. And then beyond that, I got to start moving a lot of lumber to get at the 2x10s.
As you make the laminated beam, it's important that you're adding the correct amount of fasteners, nails and screws, as you add the various courses. So as you go from 1 to 2, a layer of screws and nails, and then to number 3, there's a lot of nailing and screwing going on. It's a lot of effort and a lot of time put into actually putting all these fasteners in. These are the last few boards for this side. good news is that the header on that first wall is complete. The bad news is that I now have to dig into this lumber pile to get to the other 2x10s. This is going to take some time.
Hey, Blue. Okay, well, while Blue is looking for that ball, let me show you what I've been up to. I have spent the last 30 minutes continuing with the restacking of these piles here. Again, I have to get down to the lower levels of this pile where the 2x10s are. And boards and 2x4s are going in this pile and a pile that you can't see behind there. Let me just pick this up and show you. That's essentially becoming a stack of 2x4s down the side. So I'm just going to continue moving these over to these two piles. And Blue, you going to bring that ball back here? You going to bring that ball? Unlike that pile at the far side of the sawmill, these two piles so far have done well in terms of no mold and no ants or other types of pests in the wood. So fingers crossed that these piles will continue to be that way as I work my way down.
It took the better part of the morning to finish the job of moving all this lumber so I could get access to the 2x10s, but as you can see from these photos, I finally got there, and here are those 2x10s.
There we are, everybody. Concerning the header, you can see that it's all completed on this one wall, the one wall that's closest to the shed. And as you can see, if I get it up there and maybe if I zoom in a little bit, you can see that the beam is laminated, consisting of 2x10s. And picking up where I've left off, I now have the first one in place for the second wall, and I'll just continue that work. I've got one here, 2x10 on the cutting table. I'm going to make that just a little bit over 8 feet and laminate it to that first one, spanning those first two posts. Well, that's as far as I can get with the header, and that's because my generator's down today. The pull start cable has busted, therefore I don't have any air. So I'll get the generator fixed, giving me back my air power, and I'll get nails in that header in the coming days. But that's essentially done. I could put rafters on that.